Many servants of the Old Ones are truly feared by the Chaos Gods, but none quite so as Oxyotl, or TWW2, he who hunts unseen. Oxyotl has traveled far and wide to the barren wastelands of Nagorond in order to properly hunt down his prey, for he knows what lurks nearby. He shall prevent the end times by any means necessary, and if he has to kill what comes next with his bare claws, he will. No brass bull, no demon, no further mutated chaotic creature shall he let stand. When Torox first walked the earth, it was clear that he was chosen for something great. The mighty brass bull had a rather tough exterior in more ways than one. Slaughtering all emissaries who came by his path, he was left with but a single spot, a weakened point. Of course, if any of that is supposed to slow down his carnage, his lust for blood, the fury of corn, then it shall be found that it is surely mistaken. The brass bull takes no prisoners. He slaughters where there is flesh to be had, and there is many flesh to be had here. None can stand in his path. None can stop chaos. Hello everybody, I'm Peter the Power Dragon, and I'm very excited to bring to you all the first replay that I'm doing on The Silence and the Fury End Times Update. I'm squaring off against the Duke today, as the Duke mans the Slaughterhorn tribe and I command the Ghosts of Powalox. I hope you all enjoyed that nice little narration. I've really been attempting to increase the general quality on my videos. So, let's go through the armies here and talk a bit about the changes that are made. Firstly, Duke's army is made up of a mixture of, in the front line, Ungor Herd, and some Ungor Raiders here. Mostly it's just a screening force. In the back line here, he has a couple of Pestigors, 3 of them to be exact, making for an incredibly beefy front line. Duke has gone for a very slow, carving out playstyle. Over here, he has the Vorgel gland broodmother. Of course, just like in vanilla, it's got that armor sundering, that aura of madness. This thing is an utter brute monstrosity here. And of course, that searing bile blood with the constant sundering of armor effect. It is great at tearing through infantry and an amazing anti-skink unit. Over here, he's got a Beastman Giant, as well as a Gorbull. Ugh, roid pig, look at him. He's got some Axe Centaurs, which have been changed, so that way they now have precursor weapons. Quite a few units have precursor weapons, and there will be a couple more replays showing that off. Way back here, he's got some Tuskor Chariots, undoubtedly just screening out for potential Vanguard units here. Obviously, in the end times, Chariots have many more models, and the Tuskor Chariots are no exception, a great source of AP. And he himself, heading the army, Torox the Brass Bull. You'll probably notice a couple of things right off the bat. The first is that Torox starts out, obviously, with the Mark of Corn. He's got Blood Greed for when he's engaged in melee, and a Blood Beast is a more random explosion, not an activated one. Brass Body is a constant aura of effect around himself, and while it does give him 40% damage resistance in melee, it also gives him less melee defense, representing how he increasingly continues to open up his weak spot. And of course, Slaughterer's Call makes Torox an absolute monster. He's up to 110 melee attack right now, and that's just base. However, you will notice, while his weapon strength is huge, his speed is only 34, and his charge bonus is 0. He's a bull made of brass, and he acts like it. This guy is a right, slow-moving monster. As for the Lizardmen's side, Start off with my front line here. I have just some basic Saurus Warriors and Saurus Defenders. And here a unit of Skinks and some Skink Cohort, also with their precursor Javelin weapons now. Over here I have two Cold One Riders, two Cold One Riders here. Obviously looking, I could use these guys to screen out Ungor Archers and just generally run off Beastmen units. Up ahead, the real star of my army, the Spirit of Tepok. Look at this thing, 170 speed. It doesn't have base missile resistance because it doesn't really need it. But just looking at that stat block, this thing is an incredibly good enabler monster. And it's one of the best just general units for causing havoc. Oh, look at that model. It's gorgeous. These models are gorgeous. And of course I have 3 Chameleon Skinks and Mr. Oxyotl himself in the front line here. He has Master Predator, Slippery, and the Golden Blowpipe of Patui. I also have one more secret. Vanguard deployed Chameleon Stalkers, using that unspottable that they get from the trees now. Strong Vigor Shock Troops is always amazing. Let's get this battle underway. Now to begin, I start off with kind of poking away at the giant here. Oxyotl got a shot in, which did a bit of damage, only about 1 dart I believe. He shoots off a couple. The Ungor herd aren't really worth attacking with the Chameleon Skink, so I start to turn back as I bob and weave in and out with the Spirit of Tepok. Oxyotl now switching targets to the Vorgelbland Broodmother. And yeah, you got the Ungor herd and everything. The objective here for the Lizardmen is to try and hold this area. Because of course, nothing quite beats cow people like herding them around. Oh, look at Torox slowly marching his way into battle. Quite a few of the Skink cohort are charging in. Some Chameleon Skinks getting up to shoot away at Torox a little bit. Oxyotl still holding by, Spirit of Tepok holding by as well. And the Cold One Riders are really going to try and maneuver outward. Vorgelbland Broodmother really starting to take some damage from Oxyotl. And the Chameleon Skinks are moving in. That right there, though, is a nice Shield of Thorns here. Oh, Spirit of Tepok diving right on in there. Trying to cause some havoc among the Ungor archers and just divert some attention from the Vorgelbland Broodmother right there. A couple of Chameleon Skinks here, a little bit forgotten about. Of course, some Skinks having unfortunately missed their mark. Calling down a banishment from up above, but the Spirit of Tepok doing quite a bit of friendly fire there from the Saurus Warriors, and the Vorgelbland Broodmother is going to capitalize on that and come in while the leadership is low. Torox the Brass Bull coming in as he chops away at Skinks. Oxyotl starts to desperately run back. The Chameleon Skinks start to fire in. The Spirit of Tepok is not where it wants to be. It can beat off one monster, but 2 of them is just not where it is. Chameleon Skink Stalkers, their ambush has been fully revealed now. Oh, the explosive precursor rounds dealing a bunch of damage. Spirit of Tepok just trying to get out of there, and Oxyotl sitting there still plucking away the Vorgelbland Broodmother. But with those Chameleon Stalkers, then 2 come in the Cold One Riders. The envelopment strategy, though, has only half worked. Quite a bit of the Lizardman front line has almost completely broken down, and if it's just the shock troops, they will be worn away. Spirit of Tepok just trying to cling those Tuskor chariots to the ground. You need to get those out of there in order to get everything rallied. Oxyotl kind of trying to move past here a little bit. Just get away from these Ungor herd, but the Garble will not relent. Vorgelbland Broodmother coming in, Oxyotl trying to run away, and the Spirit of Tepok coming in to help him out. Oh, swooping on down. as this thing just leaps and bounds forward, doing a bit of damage there. The Cold One Knights have really started to do some damage here, and they're still at the leadership. Oh! Nasty couple of volleys from Oxyotl into the Vorgelbland Broodmother. And the Lizardmen have really started to clean up the flanks here, but Torox the Brass Bull coming in with some nice damage. Oxyotl has not really been able to rest at all. The Cold One Riders are now in and amongst the flanks. They can do a bit of damage to Torox, but oh, look at him go. He is an absolute beast, and I mean that in the most literal way. Vorgelbland Broodmother. She's coming in. She got shot by Oxyotl. Is she gonna get shot again? It doesn't look like it. Oh, she comes at him. Oh! Oxyotl taking her down in melee, getting his hands dirty a little bit, and now retargeting to the giant. He's gonna have to put some serious work in here. The team on his back. Spirit of Tepa keeps flying around. It's done a bit of damage. It's got I believe it has another Shield of Thorns that it can proc. Oxyotl now really starting to do some damage to that giant. Spirit of Tepa has been doing a bit to that Gorbel. It has the Mark of Slanesh right now, but with the Tuskor Chariots coming in, and it is very tired, so it probably wants to get out of there. And it is going to. Oxyotl once again retargeting. He's now got the Gorbel in his sights. He's got to take that thing down. Balance bar firmly in favor of the Beastmen. They do still have the Giant and Torox the Brass Bull. Lizardmen may have, I'd say, slightly better positioning, but a lot of their stuff is routing at the moment. They need some serious work to pull this one out. Giant coming in. Oxyotl standing right up and just coming at the giant, standing up on his little stick there and plucking away at it. The massive giant as he tries to get out of there. Oxyotl, as you can see, he does have 105 melee defense. He's got quite a bit of ammunition, but fighting a giant still isn't really where he wants to be, at least in melee. Spirit of Tepa coming in with that lightning bombardment, but it soon realizes it doesn't really want to take that fight either. The giant may be exhausted. Spirit of Tepa turned its back. Now Oxyotl and the Gorbel starting to square off, with the giant in there. Oxyotl's not having a great day. Oxyotl dies! Rather shatters. And looking at it, that is the game. Well played to both players there, myself and the Duke. So pretty good all around. Had some nice showings there by the Spirit of Tepa. Oxyotl did very well, so did the Chameleon Skinks. And the Cold One Riders. The Chameleon Stalkers also did very, very well. Those Centigores, those Axe Centigores. I wasn't focusing on them too much, but they were cleaning up the back line. The Vorgelbland Broodmother had a slightly worse day, but the giant wreaked havoc at Torox. Was just butchering the front line. All in all, that was a very good game by myself and the Duke. And I thank you all very much for watching. Bye!